Hey everyone, welcome to the Magical Healing the World podcast. My name is David, here with my lovely wife, Miss Megan.
Hey y'all.
And I personally couldn't be more excited about this podcast. I've been waiting to do this one for quite a while. This soul is a very, very special one to the magical community, to myself, to Megan, and the medicine he works with is very near and dear to my heart. It's actually the only medicine, or it's the medicine I've worked with the most in my entire life that I've personally found most consistently beneficial outside of ayahuasca, obviously, but I don't do ayahuasca weekly, nor do I see that happening anytime soon. I'm so excited to welcome Dusty Robertson. He's the owner and founder of Austin Leaf LLC, owner and founder of Austin Organic Village, the absolute best quality kratom that I have ever experienced in my entire life, and couldn't be more an advocate of it. He's doing so many great things in this world, being an advocate for kratom and also just helping so many people. Thank you so much for coming in with us today, Dusty.
Hey, it's good to be here. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. We've been connected for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in one of the mushroom ceremonies.
That's right.
Early on. They've evolved
Yes.
so much.
Yes, that was intense. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. It was really that was powerful. That was the one in the mansion.
Yeah.
That
seems like so long ago.
Yeah, that was a powerful one though, for sure.
Yeah.
It was.
You were part of our original inner circle. We launched Magical. We started a inner circle, and you were one of the first ones in it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun to have.
A true magical veteran.
Yes. Yeah. It's I guess, what has it been, like 2 years? Something like that.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's gone so fast, right?
It really has. It really has. I mean, I just gotta say, I can't thank you enough. Truly, I mean that. Kratom has made such a positive impact on myself, and so many of my employees. For those that follow, I have 2 businesses. One I call my Matrix business, and I have about 20 employees, and I would say more than 3/4 of them have converted from 400 to 500 milligrams of caffeine. We'll get into all the benefits of kratom. From my experience, each one of them went from insane, unhealthy doses of caffeine and other things to get by, high levels of sugar, to just a moderate to small dose of kratom daily, and the benefits are insane. It's a door-to-door high energy sales business, and the benefits are just insane for them. And so you've made, and your kratom yours has been so much better quality for myself, for my employees.
For me, I want to speak on, before all the ayahuasca that gave me, thank God, the profound healing that I have today. I used to be in debilitating pain.
My gosh.
And nothing would get rid of it. Nothing, nothing.
I'd be rubbing her shoulders every
and I'd be harder. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna hurt you." I'm like, "No, harder." I would wake up and ribs would be dislocated overnight, and my skull would be out of place, and different things. It was just horribly painful, and inflammation, and it was just horrible. And the red Bali strain, oh my gosh, completely took, if it was a pain from on the scale of 1 to 10, my pain was really like a 20, and it would take it completely away till I could make it to my energy healer or my whoever to work on me and help me, my Nuka chiropractor, but it would completely take the pain away.
I know, it's an amazing leaf. I mean, really, honestly, whenever the way that I kind of got turned on to it was I had a surgery, and I got developed neuropathy in my foot, and it was very painful. I couldn't walk. I mean, it was very difficult for me to walk, and I was on the maximum dosage of gabapentin, 3,600 milligrams a day, and it was making me confused. I mean, I would go to I would be at an intersection, I'd forget where I was. I had to call somebody to come pick me up. And so I was a friend of mine turned me on to kratom. He said, "Try this." And it was amazing that within about, I guess it was 45 minutes to an hour, I could actually walk without pain, which was it was unbelievable to me after trying everything else. And it was just so cool. And then so it was, you know, it was kind of difficult to get, and so I decided, wow, after a while, I said, I've got to start a business with this, because it wasn't only the pain. What actually happened was I was on 12 medications as well. And because I'd been in the hospital for some certain issues, and it got me off of all the medications. And I was
Whoa.
on mood medication, I was on like antidepressant medication, and Kratom actually, it helped my mood so much that I was able to get off of everything. It completely changed my life. I mean, my kids have had such a better childhood because of, I believe, because of Kratom. And I've taken them out in nature. I take them on uh, camping and kayaking, and you know, whatever things that I would not have been able to do
Right.
if it, you know, if it hadn't been for this leaf. And I mean, I really am such an advocate for this leaf. It's amazing, you know.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that. And that's the thing too, you know, it is helping so many people get off opiates. It's helping so many people get off pills.
Like if I would
It
have had
is.
that whenever I could have, I had to get off. Doctors had me on Xanax for like 26 years, and
Oh, I wish we had it back
if I
then.
could have had access to this, it would have made that process so much easier.
Yeah, this is before the
Right.
crazy days that we had that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's helping so many people. Like I actually speak at Vietnam memorial meetings about it, and you know, our demographic, that's pretty much our demographic. It's kind of an older, um 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, there's younger people too, but these people are on medications, and and you know, whenever they try kratom, it's seen for a lot of them, it's actually something that really helps them so much, and it changes their life, and they're able to get off of these other medications. So it's amazing to me. It's wonderful, you know.
I love that. I
Mhm.
love it. And I was gonna say that actually surprised me about the older demographic, because all my employees are like early 20s and they
Yeah.
are loving it, and it's helping them so much too, which just goes to show how much of a broad spectrum of people it could potentially help
Mhm.
in different ways. So I love that. And there's different strains, right? Like there's different strains that are for different things.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we have 18 different strains, and what they, you know, they kind of say what the idea is green is kind of like for mood, red is more for pain,
Mhm.
white is for energy. But they really, they all work, you know. It's all kratom, it's all a leaf. What happens is the drying process is different. So it produces different alkaloids percentages whenever they dry it different ways. So for instance, for the reds, they'll dry more in a dark room with more moisture, and that'll produce kind of a higher Mitragynine H7 percentage. So, you know, it's really kind of different for everybody on what actually works the best, because it has to do with their body type, you know, your body type, and then your you know, your alkalinity and your diet, your meds, and everything else. But it's kind of a journey for a lot of people. You know, it's you try different ones, and you see what actually works the best, because
Right.
there's 40 different alkaloids in kratom. So there's going to be certain percentages of some alkaloids that are going to be higher in the different colors, and so you just kind of figure out what works best for you. Personally, I usually greens work best for me, but for a lot of
I love red. He loves.
yeah.
Now, don't you have one that's a blend, like where it's like half grape? Because what if it's like, well, I need my mood to be better and I need my pain to go away.
Right, right, right. So there's a lot of people. We do have a couple of blends which have everything. They're full spectrum, so they have everything in them. The I believe we have a Sulawesi blend and a Bali
That's
full
my
spectrum
favorite.
blend.
That's my favorite. I love the Silawasi.
I
That's my
know that one. A lot of people love that one.
And
yeah.
I like the red Bali. I mean, because I only take it for if I was ever in pain, and it was just amazing. So
And
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah,
more
yeah.
to take it for energy and focus.
yeah,
So
like he needs more energy, but yeah. Now,
Right.
now dosage is key though. Like, and so people need to understand that, because I've taken too much before and that was not a fun experience. But it's amazing, and once you figure out what your dosage is, because a little goes a long way in my experience. I'm a small person,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's different. It's so different for everybody. Some people will you know, we have capsules and we have powder. Some people like one capsule, like half a gram. And then I had one guy that was like a big guy, a really big guy, and it took a lot for him. But you kind of just figure out what is what is your
Start
sweet spot.
small,
Sweet
though.
spot.
Start small because you can always
Yeah.
take more.
Oh, definitely
Woo!
start small. It's like, because if you take too much, you're not gonna feel good. You're gonna feel like kind of
You're
like
gonna
you're
pray to the porcelain god, but once you get it
yeah.
out, you feel great. But
Yeah.
it's not the same time.
That's the
Right.
beauty. You can't, at least I don't think you can't overdose on it, because
Well,
you'll just
no.
throw up and then you're
You'll
fine.
you'll get sick. It's, I mean, it's so
Yeah.
it's in the same family as coffee, the
Yeah.
rubicite
Oh.
family. So, if you drink too much coffee, you know how you feel. It doesn't feel good. You're gonna feel really crappy. So that's kind of the similar thing. You might throw up and stuff like that too. You might actually feel a little bit wobbly. Some
Yeah.
people call that the wobbles, but it's basically, you start really small, like half a
Yeah.
teaspoon or something like that, and then kind of work.
Yep. Like a teaspoon is all I ever needed. I
Yeah.
think nothing more than that, and it was a godsend for me.
So you started, take us through your story. So you started, how'd you start the business? And yeah, we just love to hear about you.
Yeah.
How you
Yeah.
do it all.
So, well, okay, I guess we'll start like in 2016. I had like a pain in my side. We'll start here. I had a pain in my side, and I ended up going to the hospital. And I used to drink a lot. I was a big vodka drinker, and they said I had pancreatitis and I had a cyst on my pancreas, and I ended up going to the hospital. I was there for a few months. I was actually on life support because I got sepsis, like septic shock,
Wow.
and I was actually in the hospital for I think 5 months total. But my friends, my sister, they had come by, and my sister had actually said her goodbyes to me. I mean, I was pretty bad shape. And so anyways, that was from drinking. And then I ended up getting out of the hospital in early 2016. But they had given me lots of medications. I came out and I was addicted to like fentanyl and oxy and all this stuff. And so anyways, I was still drinking. I went back to live with my wife, and she wasn't having it. And so what happened was, ended up getting a divorce. I lost the house, I lost the kids, and ended up moving into a trailer kind of by a liquor store. And basically I was just gonna drink it, just leaving Las Vegas style, I was just gonna just that's what it was. I was right by the liquor store. I was gonna finish it off. Well, the last I guess it was the last 4 weeks I was at this trailer park. I ended up going to the emergency room like every single weekend.
Oh.
And like they thought I was dead. People found me like almost dead. So anyways, on the fourth time, my mom said, "You gotta come live with me," and so I went to live with my mom. And what I actually did was I hit rock bottom. I spent my last $5 on a bottle of vodka, and then I I came back and I told my grandma, "Man, I I got to go to rehab." So I ended up going to rehab in September of uh, 2016, and that changed my life. It changed my life. I ended up, whenever I came back from rehab, I told them to drop me off at an AA meeting. And I spent every single day for the next year in AA, like actually like 2 meetings a day in AA. And so I ended up chairing these meetings at Cherry Creek, and they're like big meetings, like, 100, 200 people. And anyways, just doing that, and getting in touch with myself, and figuring out what my resentments were, and then actually surrendering. I surrendered through the steps. I surrendered to God, and that's what actually kind of got me changed. And then after about a year of that, was whenever I got introduced to the Kratom. And after a while, I was buying at these smoke shops, and it was pretty expensive, and I decided I got to figure out how to get this, and there's got to be a better way. So I started looking into Facebook groups, and I figured out how to source it from Indonesia. That it basically comes from the island of Borneo, most of it. And so I feel like what happened was, it was divine intervention, because I was kind of led. I mean, it's like something came to me. One day I was just thinking, how am I going to do this? So something came to me and said, you start a business, start a business helping people. And so that's what I did. And all the guidance has come to me since then, like clearly. Like, I didn't know how to build a website. I built 5 websites now. And
Wow.
I mean, I didn't know how to market. I didn't know anything about SEO. I didn't know anything about e-commerce. Um, Everything has been kind of guided to me, like with this guidance, would say, okay, get get into these Facebook groups, send some kratom to the admins, and these kratom Facebook groups and stuff like that. So that's how I kind of got started, was just as a vetted vendor in some really big kratom Facebook groups. So, we're really high quality. We stand for basically quality, and we've always tested everything very thoroughly, even from the beginning when we didn't have to. We wanted to make sure everything was super safe for people, and we wanted to make sure our price was good, and we wanted to make sure our customer service was the best. So that's kind of what I built everything on, and it's continued to grow and grow. And now we're AKA, we're on the AKA, the American Kratom Association list of accredited vendors. We're one of only 40 companies in the world
Wow.
that are actually on this list. So basically what that means is we do everything the right way. Everything is processed in a clean room. Everything is tested multiple times for safety. We test for biologics, heavy metals, and then of course we make sure that the quality of the alkaloids is there too. So a lot of times if you see kratom in a gas station or something like that, it's not going to be tested as thoroughly as we do it, not even close. So that was kind of my goal, is I wanted to make sure that we had a really safe product, because I knew that if we have a really safe product and we have a really quality product, a high standards and customer service, that we would just go through the roof, and we just keep growing, and so now that's where we're at.
That's
We're just growing and growing.
I love that. I love all that, and that's what people need to know too.
Yeah.
Your kratom is so different. It really is. That's obviously why I buy it in bulk and offer it to my employees and whoever feels called to.
You should offer it
get
to the
it.
magical community. Anyone,
Yeah.
especially anyone that's in pain.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
it is the best natural pain reliever.
And the quality is so different than other ones I've ever had. Anytime. I've never, not once, had someone try your kratom and not immediately know it's so much better quality than anyone else's. It's amazing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, because like, so what happens with kratom is that a lot of companies will buy the cheapest there is, and a lot of times that's not going to be the best, because what they'll do is they'll actually mix kratom leaves with other leaves, so that you really have to be discerning whenever you buy kratom from certain places, because you want to know that it's actually full kratom. You want to know it's tested to make sure the alkaloids are there, because yeah, that's true. There's
Like,
so many times whenever
like head shops and stuff.
yeah, there's a lot of it there, and I think I don't know about all of it, but I don't think most of it is actually tested, because um there's not FDA regulations on it, because they won't let us have those regulations. So it's been a challenge. So the whole thing with kratom is it's a huge challenge, because they don't like it,
Right.
it's a
'Cause
natural
it's natural and it's helping people.
it's
Get
natural.
off pharmaceuticals.
Right, exactly. So that's the problem. So once you figure out in the beginning, I was like, why I couldn't have a payment processor on my website. I was like, what is the problem? And they don't want to take our money. And Kratom is it's a billion-dollar industry with all the companies combined. But what happens is that the banks are and with the pharmaceutical companies, I mean, they basically work together, so they will not let you process kratom. So you really have to work around that. It's a real challenge.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I knew you went through some battles.
Many battles, ever since the beginning. I've been through, I mean, probably 10 major processors, and then of course, like any payment apps, I mean, I've been through many of those, you know, that because once what happens is if somebody writes Kratom on the payment app, then they'll shut it down.
Right.
Wow.
Or on the
That's so
processor
good.
or anything, like any type, or even if they write a strain like Mengda or something like that, then they'll shut it down. So we have to be super we have to be super careful about it, and we've figured out ways to do that, you know, legally and work around it and everything like that. So yeah.
Wow.
You're doing great work, man, because people
Yeah.
people need to know about this. They need to know about
Mhm.
this. This is why, you know, you're one of the only, I think, right now, people were putting even on our website, putting it as tea.
Yeah,
Uh,
and not only that, but they've also had an import alert on Kratom, and it's in the same. So it's a lot of Kratom that comes through customs gets seized because there's an import alert on it, a fake import alert where they say it's like analog or synthetic, and it's not. But basically, that's been there since 2015. So we have to battle with that as well. So like a lot of I've had several shipments not make it, and you know, that's just the way it happens. And then certain airlines, they've shut down certain airlines from carrying Kratom, like China Air. So that was a big issue a couple of years ago, where it was very difficult to get Kratom in the United States for everyone.
wow. Well,
Yeah.
what are you
Mhm.
working on now? What's your plan moving forward with building your Kratom dynasty?
So, well, there's a couple of different things. I just hired a kind of a business guy, a business director, and we're gonna do some different things. I have a couple of other lines that I'm wanting to start, and I would like to actually start. There's a Kratom for dogs is something that I'm kind of interested in because
For pain.
yeah, because see, there's actually a Facebook group for this. It's a friend of mine, and these people are having really good experiences with Kratom, and like their dogs have arthritis or something like that.
Yes.
Oh,
And
Oh,
so they're you know they're giving it to them, and of course you know we figured out how much per weight,
yeah.
and exactly what you kind of need to help them out with digestion and all
You
that
need to
kind of
do that.
stuff.
You need to do that. You
I
need to.
know, right?
Yes.
I know,
Yes.
right? I
Like
did.
do it.
I bought the website. I bought kratomfordogs.com. So
Yes.
nice.
and we're kind of working
People
on
will
it in the
pay for
background.
dogs. I
I
will do
know.
anything to make sure my dogs are okay. Like when my
I
dog had
know.
cancer, I was buying all the CBD and the hemp, all the things. Oh, I wish I would have had kratom for him. He was in a lot of pain. Yeah. Yeah, you need to do that. Like that's gonna be very abundant for you. And it's
I
gonna be
know.
a good thing for the animals.
I know. And I mean, we could the kratom for all well, not all animals. There's certain animals like cats it's not going to be good for because of the way their digestive system works. But there's a lot of animals that it could actually benefit. So that's kind of one of the things that I'm going to be focusing on soon.
I
But
love that.
other than that, what I really want to do right now, and that's why I'm talking to you guys, is because I want to just get the word out about Kratom and let people know that this is something that's natural. It's been around for thousands of years. Um, it has you know, people say, well, you know, it's addicting. Well, yeah, it has the same addiction profile as coffee. It's been studied thoroughly by NIDA, the National Institute for Drug Abuse. It's been studied thoroughly by Dr. Jack Henningfield, who's a world-leading expert in kratom, and he's done studies like this on all substances. It has the same addiction profile as coffee. And so this is just something that I like to let people know and just kind of be upfront about it because, you know, people will say something like that and that is fine. People, you know, that can be an issue if you're prone to that. But for most people, it's a healthy addiction if it is an addiction at all, you know, like coffee. Like for me, it got me uh uh, it got me focused, it got me out in nature, it got me working harder, it got me having a better relationship with my two daughters, and you know, it's been huge. It's been huge. So
I love that. And you know, in my experience, it's helped so many addicts actually. It's a really interesting correlation. A lot of my friends that I've known, people throughout the years that have all had addiction issues, it's helped them in so many ways. They're like, living clean, good, positive lives now, because and a big part of that was literally the Kratom.
Right.
So it's really, I think I spoke to you a while back about, I wonder if there's some kind of correlation with people with addictions and Kratom, because it seems to really help them, pull them out of their dark places.
Right, right, right. It does totally. And then some of there's certain Kratom Facebook groups that are just for that. I forget the name of this one, but anyways, yeah, there's pretty big ones that are a lot of people that are coming from an addiction, and Kratom is kind of boosting them out of that addiction, helping them just lead better lives, and actually just making their lives so much better according
Yep.
to their testimonies, you know.
Yep.
And so it's something that's it's great, you know. It's just a natural leaf, and it's, of course, it's been vilified, but you know,
Yep.
if you Google Kratom, you know, you're going to have a lot of the paid pharma websites like WebMD or
Right.
Mayo Clinic or something like that come up, and they're going to give you misinformation. But
Right.
there's actual real information if you wanted to check it out. It's on americankratom.org, and that's the American Kratom Association website, and they have tons of real factual information and studies that are unbiased.
What was that website one more time?
americankratom.org.
Americankratom.org. That's awesome. For anyone that's listening, that's the place to go to actually get the information, because, and any of our listeners are, if you're still with us right now, you're very well aware of the war going on out there in regards to the misinformation. So they would not take a second thought to the pharmaceutical company's words. But americankratom.org, that's great. Thank you for that info. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I love it. We're all about getting this information out there. It's so special to me personally. And we're going to post this everywhere we possibly can to keep getting the word out. I can't appreciate the work you're doing more. And just keep on doing what you're doing, man, because the people need it. They really do.
They do. They do. I mean, people just need to hear about this, because honestly, it's been like it's been kind of pushed down or hush hush, and there's just you know, people need to know the truth, and it's
Yep.
a leaf, and it can help you. You know, there are certain things that you could be aware of, but just do your homework, and then but just be knowledgeable about it, and just know that it's there, and it's there to help, and it's there to help your loved ones. I have last night I was at my daughter's recital, or her choir thing, and my mother-in-law, who's in her 70s, came up to me, and she was like, "I've been using that Kratom for pain," and she's like, "It's really working." I'm like, and she's really conservative, like, you know, I wouldn't have thought that, but I had given her some a while back, and she's like, "It's really working," you know. And
That's
so,
awesome.
and it can, so that what I'm saying is, like, you know, for maybe not even for you, it could help for somebody that you know that's having any types of pain issues, or um even mood issues or something like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, where in case we're gonna post your links, everything you want. Well, in case someone's just listening, where could they reach your company to purchase or make an order?
So we're at austinorganicvillage.online, austinorganicvillage.online, and let's see, our phone number is 833 Austin 1, and I'm not sure what numbers that is, but 833 Austin 1. And our email is info@austinleafllc.com.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Last question.
The one question we ask every person that comes on here before we jump off is, you want to ask?
If you could leave the world with one message, what would that message be?
Well, I mean, I would have to say that that you should really, if plant medicine's called to you, I would say that you should really look into that, because I've been you know, I've had let's see, 7 plant medicine ceremonies over the last 2 years, and they've really opened up a lot of they've opened my eyes, but more importantly, they've opened my heart, and you know, so I just feel like that's just kind of the direction that we should be going as a species. And so, you know, if that calls to you in any way, then I would say, you know, go for it.
Yes.
I love that message. I couldn't be more happy.
Yes, obviously.
Plant medicines are the way.
For sure.
Man, thank you so much for coming on with us, Dusty. We love you. We love your
Yes,
work, and we definitely love your Kratom. So thank you very much for everything you're doing, brother.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Happy healing,
Good talking to y'all.
You too.
Good
Yeah,
talking to
you
you.
too.
Happy healing.
Bye.
All right.